I was dancing around.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Judie's Healing Fire. And welcome, Kyle Therese Cranston. Thank you for joining and being part of the show. I really appreciate you being here. And I'm really excited because I've watched you. I've lurked on you and participated. And I really like you. I think you're a great reader. And I love your energy. So I'm excited you're here. Thank you.
I'm honored. I was, when you emailed me, I like fangirled a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I'm super happy you're here. And I'm just going to say hi to a few people first, and then I'll give you a chance to tell everybody who you are and talk about your channel and how people can help you and all that good stuff. So did want to say hello to Old Windwalker. Thank you for being here. And James, hey there. James, thanks for following me over. You were watching my last live I did with Oliver on manifestation, so that was really cool. Thank you for joining, and glad you enjoyed the show. And hey, artist Liz, how you doing? That Violet Strange. I'm always going to say it like that now. So hello, my friend. Thank you. And Red Gypsy, you followed over from the last show too. Thank you so much. And our Vibration, I believe they are from your channel. Oh, I didn't even ask. Oh, you're simulcasting, aren't you? Excellent. Yay. Very cool. So for anybody coming who from my channel, please like Kyle's channel, and her information's in the description. And if you're coming from Kyle's channel, please, I would love it if you'd like my channel as well. And also, I've started doing something again, which I used to do. Sounds so funny. Way back in the beginning, it was like a year ago. When I started doing lives, I used to repost the lives as videos, and then I got away from doing that. And I've started doing it again because when YouTube puts out your information to the YouTube sphere, most people don't click the live tab. And so I repost the live show into a video, so they at least have the opportunity of seeing the video. And sometimes people that just hop over to the channel, you know, maybe they missed the live, they'll play the video too. But also the videos can be hyped. So even if you guys have seen the live, if you would be so kind as to go in and like the videos, even though they're replays, and hype them, that would be fabulous. And I would really appreciate that too. So, and same with Kyle. If you want, well, I don't know if you'll be able to repost this or not. Probably not, since it's coming from my channel. But, you know, if you do lives, if you repost anything, yeah, all videos can be hyped, but the lives cannot. So there you go. So
I did not know that. I'm gonna have to try to start doing that and posting them, re-uploading them as video, because we get that upload. You can download and then upload them.
Right.
Yeah.
Liz asks, how do you hype? If you go into the videos, it'll be an option. It just says hype this video, and you just click the button and it hypes it. And it's worth however many points. But the more points a video gets, the more credibility YouTube algorithm shows it, and the more it'll push it out. So hypes are really important. It's kind of like there's liking it, and it's almost like a super like you like it, but if you hype it, it's like, I want to share this to the world. That's what that does. So it kind of like is a boost for the like algorithm. I'm not sure, Liz. You might. She's asking, do you have to have a certain amount of subscribers before you can hype? You may have to be monetized first.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But
not monetized yet.
Yeah, you might check. I'm not 100% on that, but I think you might need to be monetized first. But I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I am not your foretold expert on technology or YouTube. I'm still amazed that I'm even doing this, to be honest. I don't know how I'm here.
I can't. I don't know how you all get those 3,000 watch hours.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time. Yeah.
It seems so far away.
Kyle, thank you so much for joining. For those who don't know Kyle Therese Cranston, She is, as her tagline says, spiritual consultant and psychic medium. Please, if you could, share with everybody who you are and a little bit about your channel and how people can best support you, and what if you have like a general theme to your content or anything you'd like to share, please go for it.
Yeah, so I'm Kyle Treese Cranston. You can just call me Kyle. I use my middle name so people don't think I'm a dude. Um, so that's what I use. So yeah, my channel is at Kyle Treese Cranston, and I do live readings, and I do a lot of collabs with like probably a lot of the people that you've seen in the community, like Nate and Jackie B and like Denise Fletcher. I do a lot of stuff with them, and I just started a political panel with Karen, which is really fun, at Tapioca Thievery. So yeah, I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I just do I'm really, really passionate about, I do all kinds of readings, but I'm gonna do like a special, I think, where I'm gonna do past live readings, and I'm gonna do like a little educational piece to it, and then do like readings for people. Past lives are like really something that's like really I'm really passionate about, and helping people figure out like what like could be impacting them from a past life, because I had that happen to me where something from my past life is kind of impacting me. So it's like a healing process, and I talk about like the different ways to like heal those things, and like what you can do to kind of, how do you like figure out like what's impacting you and that kind of stuff, because we can carry that stuff over. So that's something I'm just really passionate about. But I do like medium, psychic stuff, psychic readings, intuitive readings, all that good stuff.
I heard you talking
Liz,
about.
we should do them together, Liz.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've never done one. I don't think that's in my wheelhouse. But not that it couldn't be. I'm open to it coming into my wheelhouse. I just haven't spent time like developing that at all. But love that idea. I heard you talking about it the other day, and I can't remember what show you were on. I think it was yesterday. So whatever show you were on yesterday, I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, that sounds like a great show.
I'm excited, but yeah, Liz, let me know. That could be fun if you do past lives too. Because Liz and I have we're gonna do a live in July, right? Like mid-July. I don't know. So it'll be fun. Maybe we can do that. But and then I can do like a little teaching piece, like maybe like 10 minutes. I don't want to bore everybody, but like.
So I have a random question.
Yeah.
So when you're I'm assuming you tap into somebody's energy, and then you kind of get fed information, much like general, like how we do for people, but you get it from the past life perspective. Is that kind of how you get your information? Is just like spirit kind of gives you information?
So sometimes I have a past life deck so I have certain decks that I like that this is only for past lives. This is only for guardian angels. This is only for soul coaching. So I make them, I have a contract with those decks, so they only tell me that information. So sometimes I'll be reading for somebody, and they're like, I have this thing that I'm like this obstacle, or I'm terrified of crowds, and I'm like, and I'll start asking them questions. Well, did anything happen to you? And they're like, no, I'm just terrified. And then I'll start to get the hit. So I had a client once, and she was just telling me like, I hate crowds so much, and I was like, yeah. And all of a sudden I saw her as a little girl in like the French Revolution. So sometimes it comes where I get like an image, or sometimes I have to pull cards, and then I get the card, and then the images, and like I start hearing, seeing, and feeling. But I saw this woman as a little girl standing in the middle of like the French Revolution, like watching people get like their heads chopped off, and she was scared. Nothing bad happened to her, but I'm like, that's why you're afraid of crowds. How do you feel about France? And she's like, oh, I have no desire to go there. And I'm like, yeah, that's like more confirmation. Because yeah, if you had a past life somewhere that was bad, you usually don't want to go back to that country. You're always like kind of like this with it, or you're like, oh, I don't really like that, listening about World War II or any kind of thing like that. Usually, if it's a bad life, if it's a good life, you feel like nostalgia towards it.
Right.
For some reason,
that's really interesting, because I did my own inquiry over the years of a couple of things. I have this thing about I don't like anything around my neck. Like, yeah, that's a big one. If there's any pressure at all, no, don't like it. That's like, I'll always wear V-necks if I have a choice, and I like it open. And I remember I asked one time, I said, why is that such a big deal with me? And I was hung as a witch.
Yeah.
And I got I got information. And what was interesting is there was a friend at the time who I was going through some particular life lessons, and this person was a factor in that, about how there's certain people in your life that swear that they always got your back, but then they don't. And I saw this person with me in that life who sat there and watched me get hanged. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh, that makes total sense.
Were you doing like a regression?
I was just connecting with my guides, and I said, what? And I asked them,
Oh.
and they showed me. And yeah, and then there was another one where my biggest fear of any way of, I'm not really afraid of dying, but I'm afraid of burning. And
Mm.
like house fires kind of thing. And they showed me another one where I was in a village, and the village got attacked, and they were taking all the women and children and abusing them and whatnot, right?
Mhm.
And I took my children, it was either child or children, I can't remember now, it was a long time ago when I saw this, but anyway, I think it was children in the house, and decided that we were better off burning than going through that. And we died in the house, burned. And so they showed me that too. Like to this day, like fires, I mean, that's like, to me, that seems like the worst way to go.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. Like, I don't like that either. I don't like fires either.
Yeah. But it was interesting because it was like, I was actively trying to figure out, what is it about this? Why don't I have the visceral reaction that I do? And then they showed me, and I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
I understand now. Yeah. Have you done
I
that for yourself, where you've gotten
Yeah.
answers?
I've done regressions, I've done meditations too. You can do like past life meditations, and there's actually a really good one on YouTube that's free by Denise Lynn. She's like the queen of past life stuff. I studied like her book, and
Oh,
I'm in
wow.
she has a membership group, and she's did like a past life series. I've learned a lot from her. And
Wow.
she's like, yeah, she's fascinating. And she's like regressed like 200 or 300 people at the same time, like in the room, like in a room.
Really?
She's like, she has
That would
a
always be
book
chaotic,
about
I
like
would think.
28 days to your past lives, where there's
Wow.
like yeah, she's just really fascinating. So she talks I've learned a lot from her. So I've done like some of her meditations, and I have done like a full past life regression too. But the past life right before this one, I don't want to get too into it because it could be very triggering for people. But
Mm.
I was murdered before, and it was like
Mhm.
1962, and then I came into this life. So, and
That's a
I have
quick
like,
turnaround.
sorry.
That's a quick turnaround.
Oh yeah, it
That's not
really
normally that
is.
quick.
I did a regression, and I learned a little bit about it, and then I saw a reader, and she gave me some more info on it. And then I have a friend that's a past life reader, and she was able to see like, because like we could never see what happened, and she was able to see what she's like, I'll tell you what happened, but you're not gonna like it. So oh wow,
Wow.
Liz, you were born in 1962. That's cool. But I could, when I did the regression, I was a little girl walking down a street, and I could see like in a TV shop there was President Kennedy was on the TV. So I knew it was before he was assassinated. And then my friend who did she did a reading for me. She's like, yeah, it was 1962. I was like, okay. So I knew it was like around that time. And I was in like a little like 50s outfit, like a early 60s, like 50s outfit. And I was like 7. But
Wow.
because of that life, I am like a helicopter mom.
Oh,
I am
right.
up my kids' butt. Like, I don't let them go outside by themselves. I'm like, no, you can't go by. Someone's going to kidnap you. They're like, Mom, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I figured out why, because it happened in a past life. And that's why I'm working on it. But it's like therapy. It's
Right.
like you have to work through it.
Yeah.
And like let that
Interesting.
go. So,
Yeah, I've gotten glimpses of things like, being a part of Native American tribes and being basically a Celtic witch, and and several times that arena, and I still vibe with that. But yeah, I've gotten little glimpses of things. I believe one time I was kidnapped and brought to a pirate ship, and there was that.
oh.
which is really interesting. There's another psychic who told me that one, and I'm like, that makes sense, because I've kind of had like little, visions of moments in time. But also when I was a child, I would I had this same dream. It was a lucid dream for weeks, and it was on a pirate ship. And it was, I literally, I would wake up, and then when I'd go to sleep that night, I'd be like, okay. I would just, I didn't know I was intuitive then. I was just like, okay. And I just put it out there. I want to pick up where I left off. And it would. And
Whoa.
I can't, I've never been able to do it since. It was just this one
That's
time.
cool.
And it would. And it went through this whole storyline of what happened. And I always thought that was really strange, that I would have this very, very vivid dream of me on this pirate ship on the ocean, and like what would happen and everything. And I'm not afraid of drowning, by the way. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm afraid of drowning too. I'm not. It's actually a very peaceful way to die.
It's not that bad.
I mean,
Better than a
you just
fire.
gonna lose consciousness, right? So it's for the
That's
most part.
true.
But anyway,
Yeah. After like a minute, you're just like, better
yeah,
than
it's not
fire.
burning. Burning is worse.
Yeah.
Liz says she was a druid priest in a past life. That's interesting.
That is
And
cool.
then I'm not sure about Liz, like, no drowning. I'm not sure, because Sitting Bull will come to me also. And that just started this year, and he came out of nowhere, and I didn't know who it was at first, and then finally I'm like, is this Sitting Bull? And he's like, yes. I'm like, that's totally cool, but also weird. And like, why? And what doesn't mesh in my brain is that's a really quick turnaround if something happened. I mean, like normally the turnaround is not that fast. You got at least 100 or 200 years in between lives, typically. It's normally not like that quick. But he indicated that I was one of his healers. So like, because he had like, I believe anyway, what information I was given, he had there were several healers that were a part of the tribe, or the group, or the family, or they were tribe. It wasn't just one, and I was one of them. I don't think I was like his main healer, but I was a healer, and so he's drawn to me, and so, which is interesting.
That is really cool.
I don't know. I mean, that's what he's indicated, and I used the dowsing rods to verify that. And it's just the thing. My logical brain is like, that's a really quick turnaround. I don't know.
Well, sometimes if you die young, like so Denise Lynn talks about how like a lot of people that died in World War II have came back in like the 60s or 70s and 80s. They got a quick turnaround because of that. That was like such a like a huge collective like lesson. And it was part of a lot of people's soul contract. So there's like people from like that World War II that came back quicker, that came back within like a quick turnaround. And I think it can sometimes happen if you're like young too, if you die like really young.
Yeah.
But it's really your choice. Like from what I've learned, when you're on the other side, you decide like, okay, I'm going to come back. I want to go back now. I'm going to go back. I'm going to wait. It's like you get to like, and you meet up with your soul family and like assign roles like a play.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know, it's so fascinating, because you talk to most of the people I talk to, they're like, yeah, Sid, I am not doing this shit again.
I don't want to come back.
And when you think about it, and you think about history, like we're really in a relatively mild part of history as far as humanity goes, from the beginning of human time. I mean, like, granted, it's not all peaches and cream right now, but I mean, we get to shower every day. We have, we have ibuprofen.
Modern medicine. I'm a big fan of modern medicine.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in life that are not the 1700s or 1500s, or we have heat, we have indoor plumbing, we have all these things. So it's really funny, but it's, humans are still humans, and inevitably part of Earth School, as Sterling calls it, is we all have lessons to learn, and we're here for a reason. But I find it curious that we're here this moment in time. We chose this moment in time. And I think a lot of us did, regardless whether it was, hundreds of years ago or whether it was, not that long ago. I find it curious that we're here now. And I think we chose now because we're on the track of humanity. I think we're on the precipice of major change moving forward. And I think a lot of us chose to be here now for that reason. So
I agree with that.
Like with that you can hang out there, but we got this going on. So you might want to be here for that. So
like you have to take because I do feel like, I know things are rough right now, but I really believe with like every fiber of my being of like what Sterling calls the 3-decade reset, or the golden future, what Diana Cooper calls it. I believe that's coming. I believe we're going to rebuild, and I believe that things are going to get better. I have hope for my kids. Right. I have hope that the world's going to be better for them, because I have an 8 and a 9-year-old.
Right. Liz just said she saw an orb by me. That's cool. Did anybody else see it? I would love sometimes I can see him. Most of the times I don't. So if you see him, let me know. I love hearing that. Very cool. Yeah. So with that, I think, hold on. I have to choose my words carefully. Aries, it's hard. I feel like there's a tendency from people to go, oh yeah, 3-decade reset, or, the golden future, everything is going to be just, rainbows and unicorns, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm not here to burst bubbles, but that's not what that means. That's, life is still life. There will still be lessons to learn. However, it's moving the energy in a different direction, but we are responsible to move that energy in that direction. So if we don't get off our tuchuses and do so, we could also stop that from happening. So that's the other part of it. But I feel like with what is going on right now, and this brings me back to a conversation that you and I were having before the show started. We were talking about politics and how it can make you so mad, or just life can make you so mad. And what I wanted to say when I said, I'm going to save this for the show, is that's okay, because that means that you're passionate about the change that we want to bring forward. And that is use that anger to, great, now I'm super clear. I don't want this. Therefore, I am so thankful that this is coming to me. This is going to be my world in the future. And using that passion that anger brings out, but use it, flip it into light energy by using that passion to absolutely create the polar opposite of what's making you angry, right? Which is the opposite of anger is love, right? So this is from this thing that makes me so angry. If the opposite happens, that is pure love energy. That is what I'm putting out there. That's what I want to bring forth. That's the world that we're going to create, probably by embracing the divine feminine, because I'm sorry guys, but you've had your time. Quite a lot of time. And I think we need to bring back the matriarchal societies, honestly. So,
and the cool thing about the men that are like my husband, he's like, cool, that sounds nice. Like, he's cool with the matriarchal society.
Nice.
He's like, that sounds lovely. Cause he's like he's not like a machismo. Like, he's
right.
Like, he's just like, that sounds really cool. As long as people are like better to each other, I'm good. Like, I don't care who's in charge. Like, just be like decent kind of thing.
Most of us feel that way. It's like, and really, the powers that be are trying really hard to pit us against each other, because if we actually realize we're more alike than we are different, and we become a united front, they know they're hosed. And the jig is up.
There's more, like, that's why yeah, there's more. I feel like there's more of us. They're just
Mhm.
louder. 'Cause
Well,
I
and
or
also, yeah, they're loud because I mean, listen to F45 especially when women are talking and challenge him. He starts yelling at them and calls them names and belittles them, and and he does it to men too. He'll always do it to women though.
Yeah.
And that's he like tries to tower over you, and he tries to do this to you, and he yells at you. And it's really interesting because I had an ex that would do that to me. And when I, we evolve, we learn lessons.
Mhm.
I'm slower than most sometimes, but I learned. But when I got to the point of really seeing it for what it was, I actually stood back and laughed at him. I'm like,
Oh, and they don't
that
men like that
I'm
don't
like,
like that.
do you
Or
see how
yeah, people, I
ridiculous
should say,
you
not
are?
just men.
You
When you
know?
laugh at them, that's like
Oh,
their biggest fear.
oh, they go bananas,
Yeah.
but they'll either hit you or they'll leave, right? Or they'll either hit you and leave or they just leave. Right? Or they may try verbally. If they're not going to physically hit you, they'll verbally hit you or psychologically hit you, whatever manner, they choose to use. That's their, to take you down a notch. But once it stops working, they
Mhm.
leave. The same thing applies to what's going on now. If we stop giving him our attention and energy and our anger for that matter, and just turn around and laugh at him and walk out, like they completely lose their power.
Mhm.
The same applies to Trump, F45 and the entire administration. Stop giving him our power. Stop giving him, you just laugh at him. Like, this is so ridiculous. This is like really, I mean, most of their behavior is like watching, middle schoolers, honestly. And
Yeah.
it's insulting to humanity. And if that happened in front of you, like if at work, if somebody came into your work and started behaving like that, you'd be like, who are you? Like, what are you doing?
Like, "Security,
And
get these people out of
yeah,
here."
I think you can go now and be like, that was weird, and you would just leave, right? You would, or they would leave, one or the other. So that's what we need to do. We need to like not give that. We need a gray. It's called gray rocking, which is absolutely just don't give him any energy. Don't give him a response. Don't give him energy. And I mentioned this the other night on a show. It's like you stop giving him energy, and you stop feeding the cancer, and the cancer dies.
Mhm.
Right? Stop feeding it the sugar. Stop feeding the cancer its sugar. And just turn around and laugh at it and be like, this is so ridiculous. But you know why it's ridiculous? Because I just realized how powerful I am and how much you're not going to be around. And your being here just united everybody to be the opposite of everything you represent. So thank
Mhm.
you for highlighting that. Thank you for motivating us to come together so that we know specifically what we want moving forward, because that's exactly what's happened. So I think it's as annoying and horrible and gross so much of this is. At the same time, it's like how beautiful in a way that we're able to come together passionately for this, and not only say we don't want this, but also be able to turn around and say this is what we do want. And this is going to be the launch pad to create our new future, to create that reset, to create that golden
Mhm.
future. This is the launch pad for it. And we have all chosen to be here at the launch pad time. And think about
Yeah,
that.
we did. I'm still
It's
trying to
annoying,
figure out why, but I did.
because we're healers, right?
Yeah.
We're healers, and this is not new for us, but for a lot of people, they don't walk in this world, right?
Mhm.
And probably anybody watching this show, it's not a shocker to them to think about manifesting or to think about, how to control your energy or how to, starve the energy from an energy vampire, that kind of a thing, right? But for those who do not walk in this world, which is a lot of people, it's going to be a learning curve. And we're here to be the teachers and the healers and help humanity move forward. Even if it's a few people at a time. Have you noticed how many more of us are starting to come on YouTube or starting to wake it up or starting to come out of the closet and like, yeah, I'm a card reader, that kind of thing. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I definitely agree because I feel like it's like we're kind of she used to call us, so one of my mentors when I first started learning how to do like mediumship she used to call me a child of the new dream. Because she's like, you're gonna be like one of those healers that like teaches other people how to heal, and like you're like usher. And I never understood at the time, I was a lot younger, but I agree with that. And one of the things that I've read about for like this 3-decade reset is that there's gonna come a time when it's gonna be like, especially with like healthcare, it's gonna be all encompassing. It's gonna be like mind, body, spirit. So like people, so I got all my Reiki stuff because I was like, that's gonna probably be something, and there's gonna be like crystal energy, like working with doctors. So it's like the healers are so important because it's not just they're good. It's gonna be like blending like the medical, like woo-woo science, like woo-woo healing and medical stuff, blending it together. Like, okay, so you're in chemo for cancer, but let's use Reiki to help you not feel so sick. Or let's use like this healing energy to help like clear out your chakra so that you have more energy or something like that, like working together. So that's why a lot of our healers are here at this time, because we're going to eventually end up working together, I think, and like with doctors and like scientists and that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I feel. I feel like it's going to be a blend eventually. Not sure when, but
it's already started.
Nice.
There are. So when I had, I don't have an active Reiki practice anymore, but I did for a few years. And while I was doing that, I was also getting connected with other Reiki practitioners, energy healers, a variety of different modalities and things like that. There were talks of medical centers, people trying to start up these medical centers, of it all being around like energy healing and natural healing and having naturopaths and Reiki and massage therapy and all the different modalities, and have it work alongside Western and Eastern medicine, basically. But that was in the talks, and they were trying to figure out plans for it. It never really like grabbed hold, but I could kind of feel at that time that I don't think this is the right time. I think there will be a right time for it, but I felt like I don't think this is quite it. But you could, as a Reiki master, or I guess Reiki practitioner, you could volunteer in the cancer centers and the hospitals. You had to volunteer because they couldn't pay you, because if they paid you, they'd acknowledge that it was beneficial, and it had to get into and things like that. They would not publicly acknowledge that they felt like it was beneficial, but what they told us privately was, we found those that received Reiki on a regular basis healed much quicker, much faster, and with a lot fewer side effects. And we're like, yeah. They were like, so if you want to keep volunteering, you can come here and volunteer. And it was nice to a point, except it's like, okay, so I have another job that I don't get paid. I mean, it's not good energy exchange. But at the same time, they were acknowledging the benefits of it privately. They wouldn't do it publicly. They could have. They chose not to. They don't want it to get out, because then they lose money, right? So, but I thought that was interesting. So that has been in the works for quite a long time already, and you could do that if you so wanted. You can go to cancer centers or whatever and volunteer your time, probably in whatever area you all live in. If you're a Reiki practitioner, they'll probably let you do it. But yeah, be mindful of energy exchange and whatnot, but they're not going to admit it publicly that it's a benefit. So yeah, it's interesting. And
Yeah,
you
that
have
is.
to
I
be
didn't
careful
know.
because we're not licensed medical practitioners. So you have to be really
Yeah.
careful with what you say, what you do, all of that. And also laws are different in all the different states as well. So like to practice Reiki in Oregon, where I live, you can practice Reiki all by itself. If you're going to do it in Florida, for example, they told us if you move to like a place like Florida, they use that as an example. It may not be the same now, but back then it was, where you have to have a massage therapist license to practice Reiki in case you touch somebody. Except in Oregon, they're like, no, because you're not manipulating the skin. You might lay your hands on somebody, but you're not like moving them, that kind of thing. So depends on what state you live in as to whether or not touch is considered, massage or not. But there you go.
In my town, in Kansas, you don't have to do it, but in my town, I live in Kansas, and in Lawrence, Kansas, though, you need a bodywork license. So I had to get a bodywork license, but I didn't have to do all the massage courses. I just had to show all my Reiki courses, and then like I'd
Oh,
had like references and that kind of thing. Because like there was like a trafficking ring, I guess, with like a massage place here like years ago. So they like
oh,
cracked down and are
right.
like really take it really seriously. But so a lot of people in my town
Mhm.
practice Reiki without the business license, but I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to get in trouble. So I made sure I did like the correct thing and got the license, but it took a hot minute to do it.
It was
So,
really challenging when I had my own Reiki practice, finding insurance, because they're like, you
oh,
have no category. Because I'm not a massage therapist, and I'm not a medical practitioner, and I'm not a counselor, but yet I dabbled in all of those areas, we'll say,
mhm.
but not anything that was licensed, state sanctioned licensed or federal sanctioned license of any kind. So trying to get insurance for it was a challenge at best. At first, it was like, well, we'll put you into this category, and then when it came time to renew it, they were like, yeah, but you're not really that. I'm like, well, then what am I? And they're like, well, we don't know. And I'm like, well, I have to have insurance. So what do you want me to do? And I can't remember what we found. They're like, I don't know, we'll just put you here. like, as long as I'm covered, fine. But because you're a business, so you have
Yeah.
to be covered in case somebody decides to sue you or whatever. But and that was the thing. So depending on your state, it can get squirrely with how you handle that.
Mhm.
So
And I
that's
went with like
interesting. We have body worker licenses here.
for my
Like you.
insurance, I think I went with the National Association of Complementary Medicine. I think that's who I have it through.
Oh, I've never even heard of that. Okay.
So it's nice because it's all that different kinds. It's like Reiki, they have acupuncture, they have like different categories. And there is like a massage
Oh,
is on there too. And I think it's under
yeah.
like it's like 2 something a year or 3 something like maybe like under a little under 3 a year, $300,
Right.
which isn't bad for a
Interesting.
year.
Yeah. I don't even know if
So
that was around when I did it, but it may have been. I've never heard of it. I love that they have it now though, because at least you have something where you can get coverage. Because
yes.
humans. So
And this one has like all the different
let's see
categories,
here.
which is nice.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Shining Love Light Truth says, oh, sorry, that's not the one. Sorry. Where'd it go? I had it highlighted and then it moved
The
about,
one
oh,
about
here it
the
is. Your daughter's a
That's
trauma
awesome.
nurse in Connecticut, and the hospital's already using Reiki. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of the hospitals will now. They don't pay you. Well, they might now. It depends. They didn't back then. I was, I'm old. So, um, yeah, I love if they're willing to pay you. I think that's fabulous. Or contract with you. That's amazing. Back when I was doing mine, at least in my area anyway, they were just like, well, if you want to volunteer, go ahead, and we know it's really, and they try to guilt you into it. Well, we know it's really beneficial. I'm like, but you won't pay me. So I have my own clientele that help pay my bills. Thank you. So that's interesting. And also, I never put out there, if you guys have questions, please put them in all caps. That helps me see them and find them. So appreciate that. From here on out, if you haven't figured out from my content lately, I am going to try to direct energy of, I've noticed questions have, sometimes people seem stuck in wherever they're at. And whether it's talking politics or talking about your personal life or whatever it is, the goal for me anyway is to try to help get you unstuck and moving that energy forward. So if you have a question, a lot of times people are like, well, what's my week going to look like? Or what's my month going to look like? That kind of stuff, I'm actually going to turn back on you and say, what do you want it to look like? Right? Because it's up to you what it looks like. It's up to, if you have a specific question, that's fine. Happy to read on that. But if it's general like that, then I would ask you to start learning to manage your own energy and putting out the energy of, this is what I am creating for myself this week. This is what I am creating for myself this month. So we were talking about that a little bit backstage too. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, Kyle, but you don't have to.
Yeah, like,
thought I'd ask your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like I can be like, so I can be like I can sometimes get in my head and get like the glass is like half empty kind of person. And it's something that I have to really watch. Luckily, I have a very positive husband and he'll kind of call me out on it. Like, hey, you're being a little pessimistic right now. So that's something I kind of struggle with like I'll start doing like manifesting stuff and then I'll like second guess it. Or so I understand. I feel like that stuff really works, but I know sometimes I can get in my own head about it. So I understand like learning how to kind of get unstuck in those situations. I'm all about learning that kind of stuff. Cause even I feel like even sometimes like us healers, like we're held to like this high standard, because we are healers, but like we're human.
Oh, I'm very human.
We're very human, and sometimes
I'm painfully human.
Yeah. So sometimes I could like tell people, and sometimes I'll be reading for somebody and I'm like, God, that's a lesson for me too. And I'll even say it like, oh, I'm telling you to like sit there and like be positive, and I need to do that as well. So I'll call myself out too sometimes.
And I think it's more than just, it's more than just, don't be negative or be positive. It's more really trying to teach people how to manage their energy. And part of this is I've gone through this journey like big time in my life. I went through a period of my life where I had the doctor look at me and go, there is not any stronger antidepressant or anti-anxiety medicine. I have nothing more to give you. And he's like, if you don't start feeling better with this, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, okay. And I went from that point in my life to probably about a year or two after that, I like went through, other things, life, and was like, oh, I need to learn to manage my own energy. I am allowing the world and things and people around me because I'm so empathic, and I didn't realize that that's really what was going on, is I was picking up everything from everybody else, and I did not know how to manage it. And so I had to learn, one, to do that, manage my own energy, but also really be clear what's mine and what's everybody else's, and learn how to protect myself. So that was lesson number one. Then it was, how do I manage my own energy when life is still happening around me? You can't ignore, I have a job, I have kids, I've got to take them to practice, I've got to help with homework, I've got to make the dinner, I've got to do my work, I've got to do this, I have a spouse that doesn't give a shit, I got, all of that. and basically I was married but still a single parent, and so how do you manage that? And life was really, really overwhelming on many points, but I went in, started learning to manage my energy and control what I allow in, what I don't, what I'm going to feel, what I don't, um, almost to a detriment. And I just learned this one recently, and I think it's because things are shifting, and so I'm doing a lot of reflecting on patterns. And my guides spelled out a very clear one that basically I brought this last one on myself. with and
Oh.
I talked about this a little bit on my last live I did with Oliver. Like, a lot of us have lost things in our lives and we've had to rebuild from scratch. I've had to do it a few times in my life. And this last one, I went, that's okay. I can do poor. I am a really good poor person. I will survive. You will not kill me. Right? That was my attitude of this, like, this is not going to take me down. That was my attitude. I am a really good poor person. And I kept saying that. And what clued in on me was that's exactly what happened. I became a really good poor person. Like, I totally brought that on myself, and that wasn't my intention, but that was the energy I was putting out. And I'm like, oh, that shit's got to stop.
Yeah.
Now I'm a really great, abundant person, you know?
That's a great
But
realization, though.
those things, yeah, well, it's, you can, there's determination of I'm going to survive, and you're not going to get me down. There's a difference between acknowledging that and also taking your energy and moving forward with it, and acknowledging it and going, okay, acknowledging that, yeah, I'm down, but I'm going to do great while I'm down. No, you take it to the next step and go, okay, the next step forward is this. This is how I'm
Mhm.
going to move past this. And that's where that was my most recent lesson of moving that energy forward. But for a lot of people have been reaching out going, oh, the energy of this world and this, our country and everything, it's so depressing. It's so, there's so much depression and anxiety and this. I'm here to tell you, if I can dig out from where I was to where I am now, it can happen. But it's literally learning how to manage your internal energy and focus on, this is how I'm going to feel when this happens, and just acknowledge and believe it's going to happen. This is how I'm going to feel when abundance comes to me. And when it does, it could be 3 extra kernels of popcorn in your bowl. It doesn't matter. Be grateful for it.
Mhm.
Oh, like, acknowledge the gratitude and put that back out. Bring it in, acknowledge it, put it back out, because it's going to keep, that's how you start gradually raising your energy, gradually raising your vibration. Is it starts with little tiny things. I walk to work and I look at the leaves and the trees over me and the sun shining through it, and I'm so grateful that there's leaves, because I think the trees are so pretty, and I love the
Mhm.
sun through the leaves. That's one of the things I love. It's simple, but it brings me joy. And when I go camping and hiking, I'll sit and I'll stare at the leaves and the sun coming through the leaves. For whatever reason, that simple thing brings me joy. And so I'm in gratitude as I'm walking to work of, oh, look at those beautiful leaves. Something so simple. That's what I'm talking about. Like, really acknowledge all the tiniest little things and bringing that energy in, feeling the gratitude, feeling the happiness in that moment, and knowing that you're happy no matter what, and you're going to be happy moving forward. And that's the beginning steps of moving out of that and managing your own energy. So I don't know how I got on that rant, but do you have
That's
anything you
great,
want to
though,
add to
and
that?
I've read a lot of stuff where it says, like, if you just, like, write down one thing you're grateful for, even if you just write 1 to 3 things a day, and you do it at the end of the night, that can really help, like, shift your energy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you have, like, I thought you were gonna grab, like, a
I just
gratitude
turned
journal.
on my fan, so hopefully it's not too
Oh.
loud.
Um, and then, what's another thing? I just lost it. My brain lost it. It was something else you could do. Oh, so for the I love to read, but I hadn't read in forever. 'Cause, yeah, I have, like, little kids. I'm constantly running around and doing things. And when things started I started getting just, like, burned out from, like, the news and everything. I've been reading like nonstop, and there's just something, even though I'm not trying to like bury my head in the sand, but there's something to be said about throwing my energy into a good steamy romance. Like it just gets you out of like it just kind of it's good for my anxiety, and I'm like in someone else's world, and I'm like devouring these books lately. My husband's like, "You've been reading a lot lately." And I'm like, "'Cause it's making me really happy." It's been fun for me. And then
Mm-hmm.
plus I'm a writer too, so I'm kind of like studying the genre, but it's just been really good for my soul to just read for
Have you ever
fun.
read the Outlander books?
I have not. I heard those are really, really steamy. I love steamy stuff.
Oh my God, you have to. Oh, you have to read them. You
The
have to read them.
steamier the
Well, they have
better.
everything. I mean, yeah.
Ooh.
That's my escape. Like when I just want to, like people have their own, feel good thing. If I just want to, like, I just need some me time. I don't want to think. I want to, that's my show. I'll go down and I'll watch some Outlander. And I've read all of the books, and the books are amazing. The book and the shows, kind of split a bit, but like usually happens. But I appreciate both of them for what they are, and they're both amazing. But you might really like Outlander.
I'll just check
It's
them
really
out.
good.
I've been reading a lot of like contemporary ones because that's kind of my genre, but I do want that's on my list. I heard they're really good. And that guy in
Oh,
it's
they're
pretty
amazing.
spoken. He's pretty. He's very pretty. The guy is
Mm-hmm.
just named Jamie or
Jamie?
he's is that the main guy who's like really hot?
Sam Heughan is the actor, but yeah, Jamie is the lead character. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very pretty man. So old
He is
Windwalker chick flicks. I love chick flicks too.
yeah.
I love
So let's see.
I
I'm
love
going to
a
read
good
some comments.
rom-com. I'll watch a
Old
lot of
Windwalker
Hallmark
says Minnesota
too.
Governor Walt signed legislation. Hold on here. Paving the way for return of 3,400 acres to the Fond du Lac. Oh,
He's
excellent.
awesome.
Excellent. I know.
I think
I really
he's a
like
good
him.
man. Uncle Tim. Who
He
doesn't
is a
love
good
Uncle
man.
Tim?
I know.
I wish he were my uncle.
Okay. And then Jennifer, you said you have a very personal question. Do I take those? Yes. Yeah, I can do like a basic reading, but if you want a really super in-depth reading, then contact me for a private reading. But if you want just like a quick read, yep, we can do that. Let's see here.
Liz, my husband loves
Jennifer, go ahead and read your question. That's fine. Liz, being an empath can be tough. Yeah. It's there was a period like where I couldn't walk through Costco or Target or any of them. Well, I don't go to any of them anymore anyway. But I couldn't go into a store because I was feeling so much of the people around me that it was like it was too overwhelming. And so until I realized that's not my energy, that's everybody else's energy, and I need to learn how to control that. And once you do, that's life-changing. Let's see here.
If I go into a busy store, I'll put headphones on, and it helps me just like stay in my own bubble. If I'm listening to like a podcast or like the radio, or that helps. That's like a tip I like to use.
Yeah, I do that to walk through places like well, I haven't had a Costco card in a while, but before I let it go, it used to drive me nuts, just like being stopped by people all the time and everything. So I would just put my headphones in, and I intentionally would use the ones with the cord, so it was really obvious I had headphones on, and that way I could just keep walking, and they wouldn't even try to like drag me down. And just don't leave me alone.
And most of the time, I'm listening to an audiobook, or like a podcast or something. It just keeps me in that little bubble.
Shining Love, Light, Truth said, live in abundance. Live like you're in abundance already. Oh, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly it. Not only live it, but feel it. So that's where like it has to come from emotions. And when most people need to meditate to get in that zone. Not everybody does. I don't need to. I can do it pretty quickly. But you can. if you're trying to create something and bring it to you, you want to really bring in the emotions of this is how I'm going to feel when this happens. So it's not enough necessarily to say, I want more money. Like, okay, everybody wants more money. But what does that mean, right? What's it going to do for you? Oh, well, that's going to make my life easier. Okay, well, how will it make your life? Well, I'll be able to pay my bills. Okay, well, how are you going to feel when you're able to pay all your bills? How's that going to make you feel? Oh, well, I won't have to worry about my kids having dinner. Okay, well, how does that make you feel? Oh, I don't have to worry about losing my house. How does that make you feel? You know, it's about how does it make you feel? It's not the words necessarily, or even writing it down. You can write them down if that helps you, but you need to feel it. You need to put the energy of feeling into it, of how does that feel? And then sit with that energy and really like sit with feeling that way, and then try to hang on to it. And if you have something that you can, a lot of humans need a visual cue. And so if they see something, it redirects them to, oh, I need to feel that way. I learned that a long time ago. I had a business coach that I would get frustrated at things. And his answer was, well, if you could put a character or a face or something to what that feels like to you, what is it? And I said, it's the Tasmanian devil. I feel like I'm the Tasmanian devil most of the time because I'm just spinning around and going, and like trying to get everything done all the time. And I'm just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And it like seems like I'm trying to get things done, but it's causing chaos. And, that's at the time, whatever was going on, that's how I was feeling. And he's like, okay, what would you tell that energy? And I said, basically knock it off. Like, stop, just knock it off. And so he's like, he goes, can you find a picture of the Tasmanian devil? And I did. I found like this little air freshener thing that had a picture of the Tasmanian devil. And I put that up. And I knew when I saw that was my cue of just stop it. Stop. Stop spinning. It's not doing you any favors. Just stop. That was my visual cue. Some people actually will use crystals for that, right? They'll carry around a crystal or a talisman, or they'll wear a necklace, or they'll wear a bracelet or something that is their visual cue of this is my reminder of this is how I need to feel. So because we're not perfect, we're human, and we're going to feel that way walking into work, but 10 minutes into work, we're going to be like, all over again, right? So what is your visual cue that you can bring your energy back to center of this is how I feel. This is how I am feeling. And I am commanding that I feel this way. And I'm feeling this way because this is what I'm bringing into my life. And I am so grateful for this because this is bringing me security. This is making my children safe. This is giving us a roof over our head. This is bringing food into our home. This is giving us a car to drive. This is bringing us a family vacation, whatever it is for you. And this is how I feel about that. If you need the visual trigger, get one. And then know that when you see it, if you're not already there, take a moment and bring that feeling inside again. And the more you can live in that feeling, that's the energy you're putting out. That literally is what's going to be attracted to you. You'll be surprised how quickly things start coming your way. It's amazing, actually. And that's the law of attraction, actually. That's exactly what that is. So
that's how I manifested my husband. Sorry.
You what?
That's how I manifested my husband. I did
really?
How I want to feel. Yeah, I did. I read this book called Meeting Your Half Orange, and she teaches you how to live life like that person's coming. So you're enjoying your life, your person's coming, and then she has you do these little feng shui tips where you leave a you put 2 nightstands in your room and one of them's for that person. You clear out a drawer for them. You put a toothbrush in your thing for them. They're coming. And then a vision board. And I made a vision board of how I wanted to feel in a relationship. So I put pictures of couples holding hands, pictures of couples. I didn't focus on what I wanted him to look like or what I wanted him to do. It was all these different couples and doing things that I wanted to do with with a partner and family, eating popcorn, watching TV, stupid stuff. Not even stupid stuff stuff, but just like basic, benign, like going shopping together, like just things that I wanted. And I looked at that vision board every morning when I woke up in the morning and every night before I went to bed. And I looked at every single picture on there. And I felt how that would feel when I had a partner like that. And it took a little bit, but I got like a really great husband, a really great partner. And we do a lot of those things on that vision board.
You know what my you know what my second nightstand is used for?
What? Tarot cards.
I have it houses all of the entire series of Outlander inside.
I love it.
And I have because I had a little dachshund that I rescued him when he was 2, and he lived to be 17. And when he passed away, a friend of mine gave me a little dachshund thing, and so I have a little dachshund on top of the nightstand because I want another dachshund too. And inside is the entire Outlander series.
That's awesome.
And my youngest son gifted them to me. It was like one of the sweetest gifts I've ever got. I couldn't believe he did that. He knows I love Outlander, and he just, for no reason, just to be nice, he gifted me the entire Outlander series. If you've never seen an Outlander book, they're thick. They're like 1,000-page plus books, right? And they're all hardback. They're all the entire series, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe he did that. So that's where they stay housed. the other night.
Hi, Liz. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so yeah, Violet Strange is saying that to you. I literally broke down in tears at the grocery store this week. It's so overwhelming. Now, did you do that, Violet? I'm curious. Did you do that from the energy of people, or from because everything is so expensive and it's overwhelming that way? Was it from the empathic side or the stress side? I'm curious. And I'll give you a minute if you want to. You don't have to answer that, but if you want to, you can. Shining love, light, truth. Okay. I'm starting a couple questions that we'll get to. Actually, maybe get to. Kyle, how's your schedule? Time frame wise.
Yeah, my kids are with my parents. We're picking them up tomorrow, so I'm just chilling. My husband's upstairs playing his video game, hanging out with the dog. We've had like a free week of kids. It's been really nice.
Yeah, it's like a vacation.
It really was. We cleaned the house.
Okay. Artist Liz, no comment.
That was awesome. I'm like still laughing at that.
And Violet Strange.
But Artist Liz, those are my own nightstands.
She thinks it was the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that deserves primary nightstand status.
Yeah, my own nightstand.
It's not in the second one. It's in the primary.
When I go to the grocery store, I like walk to the workers there. I'm like, "How's your day going?" And I like became like friendly with like to the point where I'd go to Target and they'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like they would like know who I was, or at Aldi. I was talking to like the Aldi. I just like talk to the workers there because they're like busy working, but they're always like super friendly, and we'll talk about the different products and stuff. Like when they're stocking, I'm like, "Oh, I love that," or I don't know. I find that raises my vibration because I'm interacting with people. That's like, that fills my tank. And when I leave, I'm like in a good mood. You know, I'm just kind of like bouncing like when I leave because I just like chit chatting with people. And that probably made their day because I was like not a jerk to them. You know, I was just like a nice customer. So I was just telling them about how I love their pans. Like, or their fun. Aldi has that aisle, like the fun aisle. And I'm like, ooh, like, look at this. So
we don't have Aldi's here, so I don't know what that is.
I don't know how you live without Aldi. I don't know. Like that's like one of my requirements. If we want to leave Kansas eventually, and I'm like, it has to be someplace where I can have an Aldi. Because plus my son can't have dyes, like colored food, and Aldi doesn't have. They don't put dyes in anything because they're a German company. And that's like they're banned in Europe, like those artificial dyes. So I'm like, I mean, places are getting better.
Literally, the rest of the world is healthier than we are.
But they have like the best. All their chocolates like German and Swiss. So
Oh, that's the
good.
best chocolate.
Mhm.
American
It's a
chocolate's garbage.
European
It's
grocery
not even
store
chocolate.
that's I'm surprised they haven't made it out that way.
They
They don't
they
have them
probably will.
in
They probably will eventually.
yeah. They're
We
growing.
just
We're
got
getting
our
this
first we just got our first Jollibees and In-N-Out. So
oh, and In-N-Out is good. We have to go
uh,
to, Colorado to find In-N-Outs. That's like 8
yep,
hours away.
haven't been. Haven't been. We got Five
They're
Guys a,
good.
a few years ago finally. Yeah, we're coming up
Ooh,
in the world.
yeah. In-N-Out's tasty. I really like those burgers.
Yeah. Um, what was I going to say about that? I forgot. I totally squirreled. I was going to say something about that. Now it's gone. Okay, so so it's six. Well, it's 5:10 my time. So I have about a half an hour max, and then I need to get ready for my next show with Sherry from Voices from the Swamp. We're doing our Political Thursday. So we'll get
Oh,
to what
yeah.
we can on a couple questions, and we'll see what we are able to get. So first up, we have Old Windwalker here. Is there any creative activity that you see might fit me? Maybe even some ability activity I have from a past life. There you go. There's your past life question. Typical things like crochet, knitting don't interest me. So you're looking for something to do, like a hobby to do. So generally, Old Windwalker, I always kind of divert back to like what floats your boat, but is gardening either people or plants or animals or things that have nothing to do with any of them. But you want to think about like your five senses, right? So is it things that you smell that you enjoy? Are there things that you touch that bring you joy? Are there things that you can feel that bring you joy? Things that you eat bring you joy. One of my dear friends is a professional chef. She calls herself chef, artist, writer, woman. She even has a tattoo that because she is a professional chef. She also is an artist. She is an English major and a professional writer, and clearly a woman. So she embodies all of those energies, and she is very ADHD, and so she'll like spend some time on this, spend some time on that, spend some time on this, and she's always doing something, and all of it brings her joy. And so it's those are things. It doesn't have to be one thing. I have, maybe it's getting back into good old fashioned scrapbooking or gardening this time of year, even growing flowers if it's not food, or taking a walk in a park, or going on road trips, or reading books, or finding that show like Outlander, and they're not paying. But yeah, she's not interested in much. You need to relearn me. I would say, and I'll pull some cards, but take some time to really like think about moments in your life that have brought you joy. And I don't mean necessarily, oh, this is amazing. It could literally be as simple as me noticing the sunlight through the leaves of the trees, and that brings me joy. And so I go camping and I go hiking because I get to see that all the time, and it brings me joy. And I like the smell of the forest. It brings me joy. I have my house is not big, but it's pretty much just me. And I have a small backyard. But what I do have, I like my flowers back there because nature brings me joy. So I'm not one that needs to garden. I'm not one that needs my hands in the dirt. I just like the flowers. And so I leave them in the pots. I just buy like 20 pots of flowers, and I have a whole bunch of flowers, and that's great. That's perfect for me. For example, so I would say maybe spend some time sitting back, reflecting on what are simple joys that you have. Does baking bring you joy? Does getting outside bring you joy, or would you rather be inside? Does going to the theater or an opera or a play bring you joy? There are plenty of community little theaters out there. At least we have a lot of them that you can go to there, as well as the big ones. Start thinking about what are moments in time that you've been happy, even a small happiness. I think people look for the big high, and life isn't necessarily about the big high. It's about the constant, steady joy, right? Constant, steady
Yeah.
happiness. You don't need to be looking for that. Oh, this is amazing. I mean, yeah, we get that once in a while and that's great. But, if we just have constant, steady happiness, we're content. Life is good, So what are moments in time that you've been happy? And maybe think back to grade school. If you took an art or middle school or high school or college or, whatever, or maybe you took an art class or a home ec class or a typing class or, whatever class, one of your electives, did any of them bring you happiness? Did getting outside and hitting a soccer ball bring you happiness? Those are things like maybe try to incorporate some things, even if it's from a long time ago that brought you joy at one time. Maybe it would bring you some joy now, even if we're not as spry as we used to be, you can still go to the park and throw a basketball into a hoop, things like that. So just some thoughts, but go ahead, Kyle. I'll pull some cards too. I know you pulled cards and I've been yammering, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is great because I was like, while you were talking, I actually, for Old Windwalker, I was thinking of like, except the first card I pulled like a past life card, and it said physical issues. So I wanted to ask if Old Windwalker. I was thinking like, first I thought maybe going for walks, but then I was like, oh wait, do you have a lot of body pain? So I wanted to ask that. First of all, do you have like a lot of body pain, or do you have like body stuff there where it makes it hard to do like physical stuff? Because I was thinking like walking. And then I was thinking when you said creative, I saw like a flash of like those like adult coloring books with like colored pencils. So I don't know if that's something you're into at all. Like I actually have some like right in front of me. My friend gave me, let's see. I have like ones like right here. This one's called actually it has a bad word on it, but it's like I don't know. Anyway, I'll just show you the back of it. But it's, yeah, I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but I just kind of saw a flash of that. My feet hurt if I walk a lot. Because I think that maybe because I know you asked about past life stuff. I feel like in past life you had like body pain, or that might have transcended, like that is like in this life. So doing a lot of physical stuff is hard for you. But like, yeah, theater and plays, I feel like maybe like some kind of art, even if it's like coloring. I feel like you kind of like to do things. And then there's also a little cauldron on here and she's cooking. So then I thought maybe cooking or baking could be something.
Liz says she sees something with clay too.
Yeah.
And Old Windwalker really says she likes plays and theaters. I would say if you've never heard of it, you can go to meetup.com, meetup.com, and any kind of hobby you can imagine or activity or get together you can imagine is on meetup.com. And there's a group of people and what are just groups of people that literally meet up and go do things. I used to run a couple of different meetup groups for my Reiki, and I would do with a friend of mine. He was a hypnotherapist, and we would get groups together, and we called it Hypno Reiki. And he would get people down into a trance. This was like when I first started reading people. I realized I could do it. I didn't know I could do it before. And the original intention was that he would get people down into like, just meditative state. And I would go and give them basically chair Reiki, but I found the information started coming in. And so if information came in, I would give them messages. And then I just went around and did that to every person in the circle. And then he would bring them back up out of the hypnosis. And it was really cool. It was fun, but I had a meetup group for that. Right. And there's meetup groups that go to theater and plays if you want to go with other people. If you don't, totally cool, because, look at, you can always go by yourself too, but look at your community theaters, or every time there's a high school play, that's a great way to support theater too. Yeah. There's always community theaters. There's at least where I live, there's a ton of them. that are in, one of the suburbs or another always has a community theater. But even like downtown Portland, that we've got a few theaters that do big professional plays too. So if you like that kind of thing, go out and do that kind of thing, or go to the orchestra or a symphony, or those are always really fun. Or arts festivals. Think about that. So also I would say, so meetup.com is a great way because you can kind of scroll through and go, oh, that looks interesting. Oh, that looks interesting. There's some that get together and literally play board games. There's, there's literally every kind of group you can think of on meetup.com. So try it. That's just a suggestion. But you can also, things I've done before too, is your local community college will have independent classes you can take. I've known people who've taken art classes and woodshop classes and welding classes and a variety of different, my brother took a wine class one time to learn about different wines and things like that. So anything you can imagine is probably a class you can also take, which is a great way to not only get knowledgeable, but also meet people who have the same interest, because you're in a class with them. You're spending, a couple of months with these people. So that's a great way to get out and meet people. So just some thoughts on that.
Too.
What was that?
Like park districts too. Like if you can't, like, because my town doesn't have a community college, which you'd think it would because it's such a college town. But we have a really good park district, or Parks and Rec, I should say, Parks and Rec district, where we have lots of tons of classes. From like,
so interesting. I just put, Park and Rec is a good one. They have, ours does too, actually. They have a lot of different classes. We have one not far from me. So they kind of, and they have a free, if you get a membership, which is really inexpensive, they've got a gym you can use. They've got yoga classes you can go to. They've got, it's like for like, $12 a month or whatever. And you can go use their pool. They've got pool classes. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want but it's part of the Parks and Rec. There's another one. They have tennis classes you can take, and different sports activities you can do, if you want. There's infinite possibilities, basically, which is really funny because I just pulled some cards, Old Man Walker, and I got 7 of cups, which means basically there's infinite possibilities for you. You have all these options. It's really a matter of, what floats your boat, and get out there and start trying different things. And if something doesn't feel good, stop doing it. Do something else. You can even learn to play an instrument if you want. There are places that sell musical instruments also teach lessons, and they have people that you can hire private lessons. If you've always wanted to learn how to play the flute or the guitar or whatever, you can do that too. For no other reason, just because you want to. So, and you often can even rent the equipment, so you don't even have to buy it if you're not sure. So that's, it says Red Gypsy, if you're in Portland, you can dress up like a frog. Yes. Well, Portland doesn't really have limits. You can dress up like whatever you want, honestly.
Portland sounds awesome. I've never been, but it looks like a city I'd really dig.
It's so funny because I think people think it's more than it is, and it's just because it's the media hype. It's really just kind of there's not a lot that goes on, but we do have our symphony, we do have our orchestra, we have our ballet, we have our museums, we have our, all those things. But if you're not looking for them, you're not going to know they're there either. So it's one of those things that, if you're interested in that, we've got all of this stuff. But if that's not something you're looking for, you probably wouldn't even know that building is there. So it's really, it's also interesting on that front. But it's a cool city.
I used Meetup. So I moved to Boston right out of grad school back in, it was like 2007. And I used Meetup. That's how I met all my friends. So I met the maid of honor of my wedding. I met their Meetup because I just joined a bunch of like singles or like board games or like wine tasting. And you end up seeing a lot of the same people.
Right.
And we were all like young. We were all like in our 20s and like 30s. And I've met a bunch of people, and I'm still friends with a lot of them to this day.
Oh, that's
even though
cool.
I don't live there anymore.
what is it? If you see me leaning over, I have a fan next to me and I'm turning it off and on. So, because it's hot in this room, but I don't want it blowing on me constantly. So I'm just off and on. Anyway, there was, so do you know who Darcel is? Okay. Darcel is famous, or was famous, famous drag queen, basically. But began here in Portland, and we have a club here called Darcel 15. And since Darcel isn't around anymore, his I believe it's his spouse, and anyway, it's a really super fun like drag show you can go to, and they're a blast, absolutely a blast. And usually you'll go if you're like bachelorette party or something like that. Well, I went with my best friend for we were kind of celebrating her. Oh, it actually it was before she was getting married, but it was just her and I that went to have some fun. And there was a whole group of women there. And of course, there's some comedic, aspect to it as well. And so one of them's like, "What are you all doing?" And they all, how I think it's Bumble is like a dating site, right? But they met because there's a friends part of Bumble. If you just want friends to hang out with, you can meet people on Bumble to be friends. It's this whole group of women. And I don't know if they still do it or not because I'm not on Bumble, but this whole group of women, there was probably like 20 of them. They all met on Bumble in the friends group.
I love that. That's amazing. And then they were all out of the show. I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, you can do fun things like that. But I mean, basically it's up to you. And the idea is get out and try all these different things. And, whatever sparks light in you and brings you simple happiness and joy, go with it. It could be art, it could be music, it could just be, getting out and enjoying nature, whatever you want to do. But the world's your oyster, my friend. But I did also pull up 2 cups. So I feel like this is you finding other people to do things with. So perhaps looking into the meetup or looking into groups you can join or a community center so that you're doing things with other people. I think you're going to find joy in meeting other like-minded people to do things with. So that's what I get from that. And when you start doing that, we got the sun, which is a great card because that's going to bring out this whole new illumination in your life. This new, it's puts bright light in your whole world, essentially, because you're going to find joy again. You're going to find fun. When humans are pack animals, right? We do best when we're with others. I find peace in solitude, but that's because I am around people all day long. So I'm the opposite of you. When I go to the store, I don't want you to talk to me. I want to get in and get out. Don't talk to me unless I ask a question, and then I don't need your life story. I just want the answer so I can get out and I can go home because I just spent all day talking to people. I don't want to talk to any more people. So I'm literally the polar opposite of you, Kyle, when we go grocery shopping. There was a grocery store that I quit going to because it was their company mandate up until COVID. Now I'll go to them again because it ended with COVID, where they had to talk to people. They had to greet people. And it drove me bananas. And so I deliberately avoided that grocery store. It's like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have a conversation. I've had conversations all day. I don't want to have to talk to you. And so my mom, who spends all her time at home, loves going to that store because she has people that get to talk to her. Mm-hmm. So it's so funny to me. But I feel like whatever you do, finding others who can share in the joy with you is going to bring a lot of light and hope and goodness in your life. And this is going to be like this big eye opener for you. I think it's going to be really good. And I pulled a clarifier card and I got the moon. So the moon has a lot of duality to it. So, a lot of people read it as there's hidden secrets or whatnot. I think there's the way that I like to look at the moon is sometimes you're trapped, but you feel like you're trapped, but you're really free, or you feel like you're free, but you're really trapped. And that message comes out in this card when you look at the wolf and the dog. And I often will bring this up when I pull this card. Like, the wolf is technically free, but he has to find his own dinner and could very well starve to death, right? But he's free. He's a free being. The dog is technically captive, but he gets fed every day and gets to sleep on the couch, but he's captive. So, like, who's really free and who's really captive, right? And you think of the crab. The crab is like, he's free as long as he's crawling along the bottom of the ocean. But he's also like being pulled up by chains here. Technically, he's in the ocean, but he's chained. So is he free because he's in the ocean, or is he not free because he's chained? And why is he chained? And can he get out of the chains, or is he just hanging out there because it lets him swim in the water? The moon is free, but it's being held in this globe, right? So is it free, or is it being held captive? And I love this card because it makes you think about that. Like, your current situation, you're free, you have the freedom of choice, but sometimes that can paralyze people, having the freedom of choice, and make you, go indecisive because I don't know which direction to go. The answer is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, just do something. And if you don't like that, do something else. The point is, it's for you to discover where your joy is. If you find your joy in music and theater, go find a theater group and become a part of it, and go to the different community theaters. Community theaters love regular patrons also. So if you have a community theater, even if you're going by yourself, you keep going, they're going to get to know who you are, and they love you coming back. And they're going to start, finding you the good seats and all of that kind of, the things that go with knowing people. Or, if you like Kyle was saying, the community center, if you go there, you're going to find other people who are also doing the same thing you are, trying to find what their joy in life is. So I do believe it involves other people, but I also think you can find joy in a variety of different things, but you just got to start getting out there and trying out what brings you joy. And I think you will find it if you just start looking. So it's not super specific, but I hope it's helpful. And thank you for letting us read for you. And that was really, really long. And now I probably have time for one more. So let's see who's next here. Okay. One second. So Jennifer, you said earlier you had a really personal question, and I said, yep, go ahead. Whenever I see questions like this, there's a reason why you're thinking it. If there was no reason to think it, you wouldn't be thinking it. This is one of those, what does your gut say? So I'm going to start with that, but I understand wanting second opinions or third opinions. So we can draw some cards. Also recognize this is for entertainment purposes only. If the common law husband ever watches this, we are not accusing you of anything. So hold on here. I'm going to pull out my dowsing rods real quick. Oops, I meant for that to. So Jennifer. Okay. For those of you not familiar, these are my dowsing rods. One of the ways I communicate with my guides. They're great for yes/no questions. So I'm probably I may rephrase the question, but still get to the gist of it. Let's put it that way. First, I'm going to greet my guides. Hello. Hello. May I ask a question that Jennifer has for us here? Is that okay? Okay, thank you. So when they swing this way, this is yes. When they swing this way, this is no. Very often, one will hold center and the other one will swing. So that's kind of how they roll with me here. So you saw her question. She's wondering if she has reasons to be concerned with her spouse. If there's any infidelity going on, perhaps. Is there any infidelity going on? Yep, trust your gut. That's what those have to say. And I'll pull some cards too. And Kyle, you can also.
Yeah, I want to pull one more. Well, I'm getting like for sure. I'm having trouble with like my second card I pulled because it's the Empress, and I'm like, but that's usually super positive. So I'm trying to think of. I'm gonna pull a
Oh no!
clarifier.
Oh no! The
Unless,
Empress is bringing forth new life and a new beginning.
yeah. Okay, I didn't think of it that way.
She's getting ready to birth a new life, and birth is painful.
Mm-hmm.
But once the baby's there, you're super happy. So yeah.
Because I'm getting like the first card I got, and this goes back to trusting your gut too, is like the Ace of Wands. So like trusting like your intuition. Because look at like I love this deck, how like just it's her intuition is on fire. Like and then also communication too. I feel like there needs to be a conversation because the communications are all the wands, especially the Ace of Wands is all about the beginning of like communication and getting like news, right? So I just feel like there needs to be, but then I'm looking at the net. It almost looks like she's caught in a net. So I feel like do you feel like you're trapped, Jennifer, right now? Like you're kind of stuck? Because I'm looking at how her head is trapped in that net there. And that's kind of what's
It's a
jumping out
veil.
at me. What'd you say?
It's a veil.
Oh, it's a veil. It looks like a net to me. It's just like a fisherman's net. That's too funny. Because I feel like they're like you kind of feel so the veil, like either she feels trapped or the veil is like blocking her view. So I can go in like two different ways. But then then I got the Empress like breathing new life, new beginnings. But this is also too like she's harvesting her wheat. This little cute little bunny is harvesting the wheat there. So
and also, what are bunnies known for?
Fertility and having sex.
Bringing forth new life. That's why it's the Empress.
Yep. And don't they say like breed like rabbits or something like that? Or like breed like rabbits.
Yeah.
And there's also a big heart on there with the feminine energy too, the divine feminine. So trusting that like feminine energy. And then I got even though I feel like you are like there's a conversation you need to have and you're kind of feeling like you need to trust your instincts. There's seeds that you've planted before in the past that are gonna come to fruition for your benefit. So I don't know if maybe you did something smart before you got married. Maybe you did like a prenup or something. You made some kind of smart
decision. It's a common law situation, so they're not married.
Oh yeah, common law. My bad. I forgot that was on there. But I just feel like you've done something in the past. Maybe the house is in your name, or there's something that you did that's going to protect you. I feel like there's some kind of seed you planted that's going to lead to like your benefit in this situation. Or
I'm going to throw out there also that common law really isn't a thing in most states. There's only a couple of states where it's actually a thing. It's a term that's used, but it's not actually a thing anymore. So just because you've been together over 10 years or whatever doesn't mean that you're automatically married in the eyes of the state. So necessarily, it depends on your state. So if it's in your state, then yeah. But in regards to somebody had a question, well, how do you divorce a common law spouse? Whether it's common law or whether it's just a long-term spouse, it doesn't matter. It's separation of assets. It's the same thing. So anyway, but that's answered that question. But were you done with cards or were you still drawing?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
So I pulled the Tower. And sorry, got to cover up the naked bit. So basically, it's the Tower is everything external is going to come down around you because you need to get rid of it, is what it is. It's like you're shedding. Oh, they just showed me a picture of what's that Marvel character that he's made of brick or stone or something?
Wait, Brooker Stone. Is it Thanos? The bad guy?
I don't know. No, this is from a long time ago. I don't know. Maybe anyway, whatever. They showed me a picture of somebody like made a stone and then like they shook it off and all of it just kind of shattered away. And that's kind of what the tower is you've got to get rid of the where you're staying. Time to leave the tower. Let it fall. But the great thing, I love the tower card because what it means is there's an absolute like, great, this is finally done and I can move forward to new life, bringing you back to your Empress point. So this is great because once it falls, then you can clear it out and you can move forward. But then I also got the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is really a card of, you've been through some chaos and destruction. There's a lot of hell going on, you know, in life. But the knight is kind of sitting there assessing which path forward is he going to take. Now, what's interesting to me about this card is in some decks, the horse is running fast, and some decks he's just moseying along, and some decks he's standing still. But really the message of the Knight of Wands is the same. And that is, wands are creation and they're fire and they're action, and knights are an action card. But this guy is first, before he takes action, he's assessing the chaos and the damage and everything happened and making sure he learns from his lesson. And once, by evaluating the lessons, he knows which path forward to take. So assess before you move forward. The tower, before, you know, while the tower falls, right? Make sure you absolutely acknowledge the lessons learned and then choose wisely the path forward. And that's what this message means. And then you're going to love this. The third card I pulled is the Empress.
Nice. Yes.
And again, Empress, she's new birth, new beginnings, but she's also the divine feminine connection to earth, but she's also connected to spirit. And she's got, like in this deck, it shows it great, it has every star sign around her, and she's connected to the fire with spirit as well, and has all the earthly energy around her. She's absolutely connected to spirit, connected to earth, connected to humanity, but she brings forth new birth, new life from love and light energy, right? So keeping that focus. Don't let the experience take your love and light. Don't let the experience cloud your vision of the path forward. Make sure you choose wisely in that arena. Let the tower go, let it fall, and just, you know, if you're not getting good, warm and fuzzy vibes, it doesn't matter if the person is cheating or not, honestly. If you're not feeling valued, then it's time to move on, period. End of story, end of discussion. And I say this as somebody who has learned this the very, very hard way a few times. And it just, you let it go. It's up to you how long the pain lasts, right? But it's time to choose your path forward wisely, but do so in love and light and using your intuition and knowing that there's a new beginning forward. So Tower card also means new beginning. Empress is a new beginning. And this actually is a new beginning because you're rising from chaos for your path forward. All of these cards, essentially, you have a new beginning to move forward if you so choose to take that path. So that's what I've got. Okay. Do you have anything else to add to that, Kyle?
And also with the new beginnings, I just noticed on mine, there's a beautiful like butterfly. And to me, those are always transformation too. Like coming, like you might cocoon for a little bit as you kind of get through like the pain as you cocoon. But when you're ready to come out of that cocoon, you're going to be stronger and wiser for it, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah. Somebody, I can't remember who said this. It was something I heard a long time ago, but a caterpillar has to want to be a butterfly so much that it's willing to lose everything it was to become something beautiful in the future.
That's so true, because it becomes goo.
And I always thought that was interesting.
That is, it's so true.
Not that they have a choice, but you know.
They literally become like a bunch of goo.
That's you. It's like you may not have a choice if the tower is falling, but you know, you've got a beautiful future ahead of you, you know, if you so choose, if you choose the right path. So anyway, Same message. So thank you very much. We're not going to be able to get to the other questions. Sorry, guys. But we will be. This is not our last show. Kyle will be on again. I will be on again. But I've got to hop off because in 15 minutes I'm starting a show from Voice from the Swamp, and we're going to be talking politics. But thank you, Kyle, so much for joining the show, and thank you everybody for being a part of the show. And please like both channels, share it with anybody you think might find value in it. We would greatly appreciate that. Please watch the video replays and hype and like and all of the things there, and your comments are also helpful. We really appreciate everyone, appreciate all of you guys, because we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Kyle, hang tight for a minute. Everybody else, I will see you very shortly, and take care of yourselves. And